Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and our co-host H&H Trader is out of commission for now. The back end of that hurricane had some tornadoes that ripped off and did a lot of damage. So he's without power and looks like he may be without power the entire weekend. So he may not be live streaming tomorrow or putting out any content, unfortunately. He's okay. Everything's fine with him. He just doesn't have any power. So he'll probably be a lunatic by the time he comes back when he's not had any access to technology. Maybe he'll go out and buy a new computer finally. But anyway, it's time for the last rip, which means we're going to be recapping some of the day trades I took today, looking at some of the swing trade watch list and some of the top gainers on the day, and see if there's any plays for tomorrow. So time is our most valuable asset. Let's not waste any more of it and dive right in. The SPY today, coming up, pushing for some new highs and then having a big sell-off or rejection there, but rebounded right at the end of the day and held sideways through after hours. So we are getting a little ways off of this 10-day. We keep pushing further and further up, but you can see we're not green. We've had 3 red days in a row with movements up, so it's kind of strange. We should be pulling back, I would expect, here soon, because anytime we've gotten off of the 10-day moving average a little bit, like right here on the 25th, we pulled back down to the 10-day. And the same thing happened back here. We had some green movement up there and then pulled back down to the 10-day. And that's happened over and over and over again, just like bouncing off of the 50-day. So I'm expecting a little bit of a red day tomorrow, a little sell-off, but who knows? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. The DIA has been in a downtrend even though the SPY has been going up, which means other sectors besides tech are having pullbacks because the SPY is heavily weighted by technology stocks and DIA is weighted a little less. So let's tackle the trades I took today. So I got a late start trading today, so I missed a couple of plays. ANY had a nice rip. This is one we've been keeping an eye on. Several people have been talking about it. I saw it rip up and then start to consolidate in this area. So I hopped in 30 shares here and added 10 on this candle. I was pushing up green. And then I had a stop loss in and I got stopped out on this candle. I ended up taking like an $18 loss there. Well, it started rebounding again, so I jumped in 40 shares at this time, a whole 40 at one time. And I held this guy because it just kept climbing right up the 40 DMA and the 10-day moving average. It was above VWAP, so it was very bullish. And I just held it all the way up through here and then locked out profits at the top. 10 shares at 11.31, 10 at 11.74, and then I held 20 to see if it could try to rip back up. And it ended up selling off a little bit there on this candle and hitting my stop loss and stopped me out. So 40 share trade, I would end up making $73 and made up for that $16, $18 loss. So it was actually about a $90 trade in the profit. Now, the other trade I took today was APOP, APOP. It's one we've been keeping an eye on, been building up nicely on the daily chart. But it started popping up with just a little bit of buying volume, so I waited, and then on this candle I started seeing a lot of buying volume starting to come in and jumped in there. But I'd only put in an order for 100 shares. Jumping in here, this is starting to push up, getting some irregular buying volume all of a sudden. If it can break 550, it should run up to 6. So I got filled at 544. That's not terrible. We'll pull back there. This candle's fixing to close, but I think we'll start to see this get active. And there's a little... Whoa, 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 whoa now. What just happened? How did I buy... Oh, God, I got 200 shares of this. Okay, somehow. Wow. And then for some reason, close to the top up here, I all of a sudden got filled another 100 shares. I wasn't even near the buy button or anything. I was over here messing with the charts. And I don't know how I got that extra 100 shares. It just all of a sudden said I was filled. So after realizing I had that 200 shares, this thing started dropping down. And I was like, well, I'm going to put a stop loss right below this 525 area-ish, right around here that held as support. And I put the stop loss in when this was up here. And of course, like always with these stop loss orders, if it's close to support, market makers pulled this thing down. You can see that wick just shot down, stopped me out, and came right back up. And then this thing continued to rip, even going a little parabolic in after hours up to 979. So I ended up taking a $42 loss on that little wick, stopping me out, and whatever happened where I bought more shares than I wanted to. But reason I bought into it, like I said, building up nicely on this daily chart. The EMA is starting to spread apart. See 10-day pushing up. Yeah, they came out with news, so this will be one to watch tomorrow. Announces the APOP graft bone marrow transplantation of first patient in the U.S. So that's getting a lot of hype, and we'll probably see it continue to run actually tomorrow with that. It made a high in after hours of 979 but closed at 875. So that 875 area, if that can hold through pre-market, that would be a very strong show of strength. But it may have to pull back down to the VWAP or even the 200 at $7 for a bounce off. It's going to be gapping up more than likely. Stays in this area. Very nice rip there. Just unfortunate turn of events. Caused me to lose $42. So I'm still green on the day with that one anti trade. So I went 1 for 3 of my trades and was still profitable. I'm still holding my BLIN swing. I may be getting out of this tomorrow unless it starts to push tomorrow. The 10-day did just cross the 50 on the daily, so that is a bullish indicator from where it held up at, but it closed a little weak right at 502. So tomorrow morning, this needs to be bouncing off of this $5 area and pushing up some more. So AGIL here, it says it's up 70%, but it looks a little bit more than 70%. Maybe, yeah, because it closed like 23, but this thing was down at 1385 and just ripped pretty low volume. Yeah, only 730,000 volume and just ripped to $36. So that's very interesting. This is a newer IPO and it is very bullish now. And kind of a low flow. I'm going to throw it on my watch list for tomorrow. BTCM, bit mining. So this is a Bitcoin crypto stock. And it's getting some action. Cryptos are running. So this is running. This actually just broke over the 200. So we may see this guy continue to move up. If Bitcoin breaks 50,000 and Ethereum breaks 4,000, I'm going to put that on my watch list as well. And DTST was one people were watching, but there was a lot of selling pressure on this below all EMAs. And a lot of times stocks under the EMAs like this have a hard time breaking resistance lines, and that's basically what happened on that one. Now let's look at the swing trade watch list. We have some movement on some of these here. AATC, this one threw a little wick up today on the daily, had a little move up to 832, but closed right below 8. That's a little concerning, but we're right at that resistance area, so it's kind of testing that area. But that one still could pop tomorrow. It looks like some of these on the swing trade list are going to have to carry over till next week, but we'll see what happens to them all by tomorrow, because we're going to cut it down and make a new swing trade list for this weekend. CLWT up 2%. So it's getting closer to that $4 area. Had a little buy in there today, just one big buy. but creeping up on that $4 area of resistance. Oxbar up 5%. Oxbar getting some action. Very nice, up to that 342 area. And now it has broken above, oh yeah, closing above the triangle. This is on high alert for tomorrow. High alert, OXBR. We could see some big buying volume start coming into this, especially if they drop some type of PR. But it is looking very bullish. Got to break 350. That's why it slowed down at 342. Sockets up 2%. Had some consistent buying today. Not a lot of buying. There's only 86,000 in volume, but consistent buying, which is nice. So you can see bouncing off of that 10-day after that sell-off, pushing back up for another possible test of $7. So this one's very close to a possible breakout. Wafu down a little bit, but Wafu's still hanging around that trend line, that downtrend, holding above $7. That was a strong close today. It did gap down after hours under the 200, which is a little sketchy, but that could easily pop back up tomorrow morning. We do have an indecision, but these are both green candles, so that 10-day is very close to crossing the 50. If this pushes up any at all tomorrow, it could start running. And then XTLB, which is one that Hal has been talking about, ripping up to 565. So if anybody swung this, nice job. It's not even broken out yet, but where he was looking at the entries at that 450 area, this was a whole dollar rip off of this, coming bouncing back off of that 10-day moving average. So far the swing trade list, it took a little while this week for some of these to start getting active, but we are seeing some activity on them for sure. Some of these may break out some more tomorrow or may break out next week, but we got some good options there. So a subscriber wanted us to check out SPEYF. Was in one of the comments, just wanting to know some thoughts on it. So I'm going to take a look at it real quick on this episode. Bay Resources. Yeah, so this company just opened up in October 20th. It looks like it's around 11 cents there. It's had some pretty volatile moves. But yeah, consolidating nicely. This is a nice triangle. It's got a little while to go. If it could try to break out early here and need to break over that 40-cent area. But it may have to come back down one more time to get to the tip of this triangle before it does anything. Because you can see there's still quite a bit of space until the tip. Let's see if we can find any numbers on them here. Assets to liabilities, 250,000 assets. Only 16,000 in liabilities. Debt to asset ratio, 7%. Nothing wrong with that. They don't have any revenues yet. They're a new company, though. They've got operating expenses. So now this is saying they've been out since 2017. So I'm not exactly sure what is going on there. The chart's not showing that, but this is. But their free cash flow is pretty bad right now. Yeah, so without me doing a whole bunch more research on this company, it is in good consolidation. I'm not really sure what to think about those numbers that TradingView is showing, since the charting is not showing back that far. It doesn't really make much sense to me. All it needs to do is break 40 cents and it could make a pop up, probably test 50 and maybe break that. It does look like more volume is coming into this company. Let me know what the metals are and what they're doing down in the comments, and we can discuss it some more, but not too bad. So that's it for tonight's episode of The Last Rip. I'll be back tomorrow morning for some live stream trading. Hal probably will not be. Don't expect it, because his power will be out probably until the end of the weekend. So we'll see how this week closes, and I appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.